Going live. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Of course, of course. I'm like so nervous right now. I have about 14 questions. 14 questions so far. Some of them are like broadened as far as like advice. Well, women that have asked me concerning men. Some is personal. Thank God it's nothing degrading or sexual, because I have to just bypass that. I'm gonna just wait for just maybe like another 30 seconds. These questions is crazy. Let's see, I think I'm gonna just, okay, that. Maybe just a few more minutes. A few more seconds. 14 questions. Hey, how you doing? Kia John, how you doing? These questions is crazy. All right, just like 15 seconds. I'm gonna just go ahead and just get at them. Some of these are asked by people that I have known, and I just, like email me or, anything that you want to know. Like I said, as long as it's nothing too personal. Good, love your channel. Well, thank you. It's a lot of work doing this. It is. It's a lot of work doing this, but yeah, just try to be natural with it. It's all right. A lot of writing too. Oh, matter of fact, hold on. I'll be right back. I kind of got them like scheduled like every Saturday, because I don't want to like bombard y'all with a lot of stuff that I got like uploading. So like the present video that I did, the previous video that I did, it was just talking about the things that I got uploading. But I upload them like every Saturday, starting next week. Check out mine when you can. All right, bet. I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely go on here just to remind myself. It's like the job that I do is like very easy, because like once I'm done with my work, I can just sit down and like just write, and that's all I've been doing. Just writing and reading and doing some research. I come home just to relax. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get to the question, so hold on. Do you work from home? No, actually I don't. With YouTube, no, I pretty much work anywhere with YouTube, like that's what I do. Work anywhere. Like I can be downtown by the lake. Sometimes even if like it's freezing, I'll find like a nice spot and just start filming. But my job, it kind of like consists of like, I'm like a chef. Yeah, try not to burn like people's food and stuff. But these are like all the works, as you can see here, like these are all like the works that I have. Like as far as the videos coming up, I gotta like keep record of this stuff and just, it's too many papers. As you can see here, it's just too much. It's like I'll just put it down somewhere. All right. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. When I was young, my parents would give me, like they would actually go to the library and they would give me like stacks of books, maybe like 10, 15, 20 books. And I'm like 8, 7 years old, and it's like just reading, doing book reports. And then it's like, it kind of like expanded my imagination. And I started writing movies and writing stories at a very young age. It's crazy. All right, I'm about to start these questions. Got them on the computer, I just blew them up. Why do guys cheat so much? It's kind of, I know some of these are kind of personal, because it's kind of broad for like men in general, but why do guys cheat so much? Yes, exactly. The spirit of lust. Yes. Sometimes some men will feel neglected, and this goes for men and women. Some guys will feel neglected. It's like having an excuse as if they were drunk. That's another one. Emotionally deprived. That can be a major issue. And there's no excuse for someone to cheat. And just start off by being attached to someone is not cause for an accident. Exactly. Ego is like another thing too. It's like enhancing their popularity. You know, as young men, when I was in high school, it was a big thing to just get women, just cheat, whatever, and do this and do that. But it's like as we get older, some of the guys that I know have done that, they actually have daughters. And then what they think about is like, Cliff, love you too, man. Love you too, Cliff. And what these guys start thinking about is, yeah, pride too, is that they don't want their daughters to meet a guy that is just like them in school. And it's like, that's a big deal to them. And they kind of regret these things. Um, Men they don't have any excuse to cheat. Well, I tell you the truth, they do have excuse to cheat, but it's the wrong thing to do. Playing with a person's heart, especially a woman's heart, is something that is not tolerated. I remember reading, I think it was a Jewish literature, and I told my guys this, and they were scared. They was like, God actually counts the tears of every woman. And those dudes were like, we was all quiet, and it was like, it was kind of like, just felt rebuked about it. And that's like, it's not cool. It really isn't cool. I have done my part when I was young, foolish of me, but then again, it really taught me something to really care for a woman's heart. Because if I ever get involved or like if I ever get serious with someone, I want to be respected. I want to be cherished the same way I'm going to cherish my woman, my queen and stuff. So then again, that's why I kind of do these videos because I speak on not just things concerning the scriptures, but it's already involved in it, but also the worldly thing like secular stuff. Because there's people that are in the world, they don't know much about God. I'm just giving it to them so that they can understand it. If you think about it, if you're cheating, wait a minute. Oops, hold on. I think that's it. Okay. If you think about it, if you're a cheater, you can't be entrusted at law from anyone. That's true, but then again, um, everybody makes mistakes. I have known someone that have cheated and they regret it. And sometimes they have to live with that. And to tell you the truth, because I'm gonna go to the second one, the second question, we all actually have cheated before. Every last one of us. And it's not about being with someone because you can still be single and actually cheat. We cheated on God numerous of times. We have done things we shouldn't have done. In Greek, the word church is ecclesia. Consider that to be Jesus' wife. Just think about it like that. Is Jesus' wife pure? His wife is actually us. You get what I'm saying? Like we are the ones that make up the body of Christ. Not just a building, not just a temple or a synagogue, but we are the ones that we should remain faithful. And all we're doing is doing our part, doing the best thing that we can with what we have. And yet he is so quick to forgive us. He's slow to anger and he wants us to be like him. We have that excuse, the excuse like, I ain't perfect. Only God can judge me. That's all true. But Jesus comes around and tells you, be perfect for my Father in heaven is perfect. And then he says, it's so much that Jesus said, and sometimes his teaching is very hard to digest. But it's being perfect, it takes time. Like repentance is actually a process. Sometimes we can't really just automatically want to change. And it's like it takes us to really, what I'm saying, dig in deep and just want to do better. Not just for other people, just for ourselves, because God's going to actually open up these books. And we are definitely going to be judged by these books. Our character, our behavior, our thoughts, what we do, what we tithe. It's like these things are like valuable to God, and we are precious in His sight. So whatever we do, we have to remain faithful no matter what. And if we do slip, we're easily to actually repent. That's if we want to. The flesh is weak. Yeah, the spirit is willing. Definitely. What is this? But it does hurt people, and especially women. It hurts them because women definitely put their all into someone that they don't expect to cheat. But when that time comes, it's like it breaks them. I have known some women that have cheated, and I'm sorry, that were cheated on, and they didn't expect that. And if they knew, they would definitely turn back the hands of time and not even and just avoid that person. You have to just do your part. And I just pray the healing for these women. And I just, like I said, me and my friend, me and my cousin, we just do our best to just do these relationship videos to look for the signs. And God definitely will speak to you knowing that, this person that you shouldn't be trusting, this person is okay to trust, this person is okay to have friends. So it's like listening to God first and not our own feelings. But, we're human beings. That's how we are. Do you go for looks or personality? I guess this is more broad. Both. We all go for both. I actually asked this person once. And we were like playing a game online. Like, do you go for looks or do you go for personality? Which one is first? We all want to say personality, go for Christ. Indeed. Looks for personality. Kind of like, we live in a world where it's like looks can be one thing, but then your spirituality also can be another. But combining those two into one will be a great success. Sometimes you can find a worse looking individual, but they can be the most faithful. And sometimes vice versa, where you can find a very handsome man and they can treat you like a dog. Hey, what's up, Wick? How you doing, man? I actually wrote you too, bro, online. On email. So I'm actually going to check that out. That StreamYard, I believe. I'm gonna check that out. I never heard of that before. Never did, but I'm gonna definitely look more into it, and I'm gonna definitely get back to you on that one, man. I want to look for personality. It's basically both, but not just looks and personality, but also spirituality too. I can just tell you this: Peter would not even be an apostle if he wasn't willing. You remember the story? You can go into the Gospels. You can read that. Remember when he told Peter to just go out, and we can both go out together and actually fish. And Peter was like, "Yo, you know what? I did that already. We're not going to find nothing, but since you insist, I'm gonna go ahead and go out there." Jesus was looking for someone that was willing and not stuck in their ways, and that was so beautiful about him. Hold on, let me top chat. Okay, sometimes we see the looks first, then we'll see Christ in him if he's there, of course. And you know what? Sometimes, I'm over here jumping subjects. When it comes to looks, personality, and spirituality, sometimes the person doesn't know who God is. And we can't simply judge the individual because, like, oh, he's not a Christian, she's not a Christian, we need to leave them alone. I'll stop talking. No, it's fine. It's just like I'm kind of new to doing this thing, and it's like sometimes it pops up, and then I'm like, reading it. But don't worry about it. I'm gonna see if I can actually do my best. Hope you find yourself well, my friend. You too, bro. You too, man. You too. What I was saying again? This is a problem that I have with that. Sometimes we look for spirituality first. A handsome individual, a beautiful woman, they can, if they have Christ in them, then it's like we yoke ourselves with them. And of course, the scripture says, "Do not yoke with unbelievers." You know what I'm saying? What does light have fellowship with darkness? But it actually takes a wise, discerning individual to actually be friends with that person, because how are we going to actually help them change? Are you using YouTube itself? Yes, I actually am. I found out that I think you have to have to be live, I think it's like 1,000 subscribers. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. Think about maybe 7 years. So I don't have the time to do it now. And it's already 14 minutes, so I ain't even got done half of these videos. Look who's Yeshua I'm with. I don't know what you mean by that, bro. What you mean? But again, when it comes to dating, what we look for with someone, of course, is looks, personality, and spirituality. But if a person does not have Christ, we don't want to simply exclude ourselves from them, because Jesus made friends with sinners. And if we are called to be like Christ, shouldn't we also do the same? He hangs up with exactly. That's the same. Thank you, though. I can only live stream on StreamYard. Okay, all right, bet. But yes, he actually had friends in high places. Nicodemus was one of them. Joseph of Arimathea was actually. They were Pharisees, religious leaders. Jesus had friends in high places. He also had friends with sinners. Matter of fact, his 12 disciples were sinners. Simon, not Simon Peter, but Simon Zealot. Zealot are the ones that they um, they're like more like just, I won't say barbarians or just ruthless individuals. They're not ones to put them in that category, but they're the ones that protest and sometimes they will do some damage to people. So, and Jesus was actually friends with them. You get what I'm saying? So, doesn't that mean we should date them? Well, I would say not necessarily date them, but it's good to be friends with them. And to be honest with you, to be friends with someone that is an unbeliever, it honestly is no problem as long as you knowing where you're, as long as you know your role. That's it. As long as you know your, because you may have someone that's not on your level as far as faith, but you can actually be friends with them and actually build them up there. You know what I'm saying? Relationships don't work. It's never meant to be a religion, a relationship. Of course, man. Like religion is sometimes deal with rules and laws. And I actually spoke about this in the weeks to come. Um, Relationship is like it's like intimacy. You know what I'm saying? It's intimacy. And I don't mean that in a sexual preference. It's like it's just closeness. Like Jesus wants a relationship with us. That's what he left his glory and became one of us. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be personal with them. Religion is like you gotta do this, do this, do this, do this to earn this, to earn this. And Jesus said, just believe in me. Like I'm the only way. John chapter 3, verse 16, and also John chapter 14, verse 6. So it's awesome, man. And but yeah, just yeah, of course, look for the signs. Oops, hold on. Look for the signs, but also don't simply judge them because you'd be surprised that you can actually change a person's heart just by not by the way you say things, but how you are. So that's one thing. All right, let me go to the third one. You too, you on fire, bro. Oh, yeah. When you say that, man, I'm like, I'm actually on fire for real. I'm a little slow on that one, my bad. Jesus never hung with them like his disciples. He had limits. In the scriptures, it actually says that he trusted himself with certain people. If I had a chance to really come on here, I'm gonna see if I can actually reply to you on that. Certain people that he actually trusts. Remember the woman? This wasn't it in John chapter 6. This woman that was the Samaritan woman. Remember she was by the well and she actually had 5 husbands, and the man that she was living with was actually not even her husband. So he was the 6th guy. Jesus, she wanted to meet Jesus, which is the 7th man. You know, in the numerology, 7 means completion. Jesus had the nerve to actually speak to a woman that already was living with another man. Jesus was speaking to a woman that already was living with another man, and even though he had boundaries, he did not come to save the righteous. He came for sinners to repent. You get what I'm saying? So how can he come to save sinners? You know what I'm saying? How can he come to preach repentance? He had to go to where sinners were. Sometimes we don't want to take the next step into going out and to actually be with people. And trust me, as a personal, if someone that's on here, I can tell you that I actually have friends that wasn't on my level as far as faith. It wasn't. Sometimes they wanted to be sexual with me, and I kind of like had to refrain from that. But I always gave them something that was a part of me that I got from God, that I got from the Father, and that was holiness, that was righteous, and that was actually praying. Some women that I actually prayed with said that they never had a man to pray with them. It was always getting it on. It was always doing something, and then they leaving. That's why, like, friendships, sometimes the best friendship is the best relationship that you can ever have. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a discipline. Exactly. Discipline is, like, number one. And discipline is something, man. Like, this, not even on a spiritual perspective, but it's like if an individual is overweight, how are they going to lose it? They have to be consistent. They have to be consistent. And consistency is like number one when it comes to discipleship. You wick on fire. Yeah, I know you on fire too, man. Balance, dude. Yes, exactly. You have to have balance. And to be honest with you, that's something that I really didn't have growing up. I always thought that man should be on the pinnacle of achievement. The man should be the breadwinner. The man should be this. But it's like my pride was getting in the way where I didn't care about anybody else except myself. But yet God had to kind of like tear me down to the point where I was a stump. And then it's like I had to really grow and learn. You get what I'm saying? I was getting all these gifts, these visions, these revelations, thinking I was the only one. But it's like, I'm not. So I had to really understand what patience is. I had to start being kind. I had to be genuine of faith. So I had to really build. God had to really help me build up in my walk with Him. All right, number 3. These these questions, man. Elijah, aren't we all at first? Yeah. I just did a video on that too. But Elijah thought that he was actually the only one, and God said that I had a couple of few prophets that didn't bow to Baal. So at times that when we are on our own walk in life and we don't have anybody to join us, it's like sometimes we think that we are the only one, but you'd be surprised that the people that you could connect with kind of have the same problems you do. So yeah, 7,000 exactly. My man John Wick. I mean, every time I see Wick, kind of remind me of John Wick. My bad. All right, number 3. If the girl's shoe size is bigger than yours, do you say no? What is? What is with y'all? If the shoe fits. Oh man. If the girl's shoe size is bigger than yours, do you say no? To be honest with you, I have not know a female side that had the same size as me as far as my shoes. I'm not bragging about myself. I don't do that kind of stuff. But to explain to you, I'm 6'4". My shoe size is like a 14, 15. I have not known a woman to nearly be my height. Well, this actually is another question that's like that on here. But on this subject, I don't know any woman that was around my size. And even if I did, that's kind of like, it's like a wow to me. It's like, yo, that's, if your parents tall, so maybe it be genetics. But the timing, yes, you something else, man. But yes. To be honest with you, it's no problem. Like, it really isn't. You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep her, feet clean. That's one thing. That's one thing. But no, it's not really an issue. Some guys can have a feet fetish. They want a certain size, a certain smell to it. That miss me with all that. That's not my thing. But one with a bigger shoe size, I haven't really seen unless they're like basketball players or something. But it's not really a problem. That's kind of funny. That's a good question. Number 4. Do taller women make you feel less of a man? I'm going to find whoever wrote this. Seriously. Do taller women make you feel less of a man? I have not, here in this city, here in Milwaukee, I barely see somebody that's taller than me. The last tall woman that I have seen was actually, I would say, I'm 6'4". She had to be maybe about like 6'1", 6'2". Before that, this was like 10 years ago. The tallest woman that I have seen, this was like 10 years ago. She was maybe about like 6'10", 6'11", a European lady. And I was just stunned, like, wow. Feeling less of a man? No, it don't. It's something. It's kind of like intriguing to me because like around me, people are kind of like really shorter than me. Some guys I see, even especially young guys that are very like short. Like around my, not around my age, but like around my height, and they're teenagers, like 14, 15 years old. They're like 6'3", 6'4". And I'm like, yo, you still growing. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make me feel less of a man. Not at all. No. But I barely see actually tall people around. Some people while I walk past, they look up to me, and sometimes that height can be an advantage. You're 6'2", yeah, so you kind of get what I'm saying, but we use it to our best, our advantage. Some people that's looking up, on the stock shelf, whatever, trying to guess, and they look at us, and we're like, okay, fine, you don't even need to ask, I got you. You cool, just I understand. So no, it doesn't make me feel less of a man. It doesn't. No. Does a woman with a bigger income make men feel insecure? That's a good one. Does a woman with a bigger income make men feel insecure? Maybe to some men to a degree, because when we were growing up, especially if you were maybe in the 80s, probably before then, depends on the. You taking the words out of my mouth, John. John Wick. I mean Wick. I'm gonna start calling you John Wick, bro. That's it. Only when he works at McDonald's. Y'all is something else, man. You know what? I can't. Some men were trained to be, molded to be breadwinners. And it kind of makes some men feel less of a man and unworthy when they can't bring enough money home more than their spouse or their girlfriend because they feel that they could do better, but they can't. Times have changed. If you can look back, maybe in the early 80s and before, 60s, 50s, 40s, whatever, the men brought home the bacon. The woman stayed home and took care of the kids. Now times have changed where the women are not bringing home the bacon, they're bringing home the pig. And then the guys are actually staying home or, getting some sort of maybe insurance policy or, working a 9 to 5, 9 to 2, whatever. As long as the man is working, you have to look at the positive aspect of that because we can't simply judge someone because of their character nor because of their wages. What merging finances is like number one. When I was involved, there was a time where what I did, because we were kind of like not making the same amount, but we were actually up there. And so I said, you know what? How about this? How about you take out maybe 100 out of your check and I'll take out 100 out of mine every pay period and we just put it together, store it in a place where it can just be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like they call it, saving for a rainy day. That's what we did. But it also comes with understanding. Okay? Understanding has to be key. Again, times have changed. 40% of women actually are making more money. That's statistics, more money than men. It should not make men feel secure. But when a man does feel insecure about that, when a man feels insecure about the woman making more money than he is, sometimes that insecurity can become toxic in a relationship, and it should not be that way. As long as them two are working together, they have teamwork, it shouldn't matter who actually makes more. What matters the most is that they're actually doing something. One person is not taking advantage of the other, and that's where there's a lot of downfalls when it comes to that. So some men can be, they're frequently judged because they don't make enough. And sometimes it can make some men feel less of a man, but honestly, if you guys are listening or whoever is listening soon, whatever, don't feel that same way. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, exactly. I know a guy quit his job and he told his wife, we make the most for the both of us. Yeah, a man should definitely do their part. Even if at least he's doing something. A man should at least do something because if he's just depending on the woman to pay for everything, you know what I'm saying? Unless he's maybe injured or he's collecting something, whatever, he has to at least do something with his life. He has to do something. Providing is what we do. Actually, the word father, Hebrew is Abba. Abba means source. Source is the people. We are the ones that actually hold together. We are the seed carriers. We are actually held accountable to our family. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really put in work. So we have to put in work. So yeah, that's something. Have to be. Definitely got to do something. All right. All right, here we go. It's another one. Number 6. Why when men cheat and get forgiven, but when a woman does the same thing they did, why do men get like we crushed the whole world? Oh, okay, I get it now. When men cheat and get forgiven, but when a woman does the same thing, why does the men feel like their whole world is being crushed? Expectancy. We don't expect women to do what we do. Sometimes it can be, I won't say I can say hereditary because back in, I won't put this in, can't put this in the category of generational curses. I can, in a way, because back then, ancient civilization, men had more than 20 wives, men had more than, what I'm saying, men were kings, what I'm saying? So it was actually up to them to, concubinage, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at King Solomon. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, with these people that had, this empires, they were just, like I said, kings, so they can have up to how many wives they want as long as they are able to take care of them. Some religions still have that to this very day, but you're held responsible to take care of them. But why do men get hurt when women do it? Sometimes men are selfish. It definitely breaks our ego, especially if we are built up with so much pride that we can do anything we want and yet not and really not feel like, what I'm saying, we're at the bottom of the barrel. But then again, when push come to shove, God will simply break that pride. And I know as a living testimony that can happen. And for some people that have that same attitude that they can do whatever, no woman can, what I'm saying, things like this, just that nasty conniving attitude. Trust me, like, God can actually, cut you down. Men who are cheated on are not cheaters. Some women, I know some women that actually cheated on their man because, yeah, not many, but I know some women that have cheated on their man because their man had cheated on them first. So it's like, playing tit for tat, in which it does not really solve anything. It does not solve anything. When it's like this man cheated on this chick, what I'm saying, this woman, and then in return, she has to feel some sort of like reprobation where she has to do the same thing in return. And that can really like screw up. That can really mess things up. Because that person can catch an STD or have a kid out of wedlock. So that's not a good thing. And these are actually coming from individuals that I have known that does that they actually done those things. And I asked them, like, why would you do that? It sucks. We expect women to really play their role, but then again, men also have to know their role too, and that's also to be faithful. Can't really speak on every man because some men still needs to learn how to grow up. Some men, I mean, you can say a man is 34 years old, but they can still have a childlike attitude, can get away with things. They were trained some way that if I can do what I want to do, I'm going to do it. No one's not going to tell me anything. Like I said, that pride, But yes, that's another thing too. So it's like you have to just watch the signs. And there's nothing wrong being friends first to really test the spirit, what we can say. But it's like really testing a person out. If there is someone that we can actually trust, someone that we can really, give our heart to in a relationship. What was it? James chapter 1 verse 14. When temptation comes, it's like from our own desires, and it's like we are simply enticed and we're dragged away. It's when you look at what's his name, King David. We all know that King David. They don't even like, what I'm saying, talking about this, but like what King David did was wrong, and he know that. Like he knows that. He had another man killed. When King David was actually out there on this, this balcony, he viewed a woman that was taking a bath right in his view, which kind of makes me wonder, like, why would she actually do that? You get what I'm saying? Why would she actually take a bath right in front, like right there by, so that King David can see her, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why would she do such a thing like that, but Bathsheba should know better. Like I said, this is the past, so we can just learn from these biblical characters and the stories. And David had a lustful moment, and he went in, and he did his thing. You get what I'm saying? Like he's seen all of that. But yet, sometimes the man's eye can really get us into trouble, and we can see that with King David. But it's another thing that King David did too. And this is what a lot of people kind of forget when it comes to, Bathsheba and what he did that was wrong. King David also looked out the balcony and he realized that the Ark of the Covenant was just in a tent while he was living in this grandeur, this grand palace. And yet he called the prophet. He was like, and I want to build a temple. I want to build a temple for this Ark of the Covenant. And it's outside, living in this tent. But I'm in here in this big, huge palace. So it's like he wanted to do something, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a man's eye can really get him in trouble unless, like I said, unless your individual have balance. And is what we need the most is balance. And we can have so much power, but we also have the attitude to really know what is right, know what to do. Because too much power and not enough love can really, you already know what Hitler did. Saddam Hussein spoke about this before, but it's not a cool thing to do. But to play both parts, cheating is not it's not good. And sometimes women can actually carry that to the next relationship because they still haven't forgiven their past, and they carry that on, controlling the next man that comes into their life. So they figure that I'm not gonna be cheated on again, and it's like they start to just it's like if you come in a relationship not having trust, that's going to expand with the next individual that does want to trust you, but yeah, you still have the problem that you haven't released the past. So you're carrying on that baggage to this individual, and it's like this person don't even deserve to have that, this drama in their life because of you haven't really released the past. You haven't really, let go. You get what I'm saying? Number 7, is sex a big factor in a relationship? Yeah, I mean, make that quick with the right person that you're actually involved with. Not just screwing around everybody that you see. Like I said, we all maybe have done our part. Some people are actually worthy enough, I'm not going to say worthy and like perfected, but have taught like they're going to really save themselves for the right person. Okay, yeah, I know y'all been writing. I'm sorry. I got to wait till it pops up again, but many of us can probably go back in time and just wish that we can save our virginity to someone that is worthy of it. And sad we can't, but yet remember that, Satan can stain us with the guilt in our conscience that we've done something that we shouldn't have done, but it's the blood of Christ that simply wipes us away. Get what I'm saying? Gotta roll. All right, blessing to you too, man. Blessing to you too, bro. It's relationships is something because is not you're actually you're giving your all, not just to God but actually to someone. If you look at marriage, you got all this planning, all this big stuff going on, and you only got to say a few words, a few vows, and say I do. That's it. But when you get divorced, it's in the court. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I realize that love does not keep people together because individuals that were divorced, they still love each other, they still have love for each other, but they can't be with each other. So really, I can say that it's actually a lack of understanding. I don't like no other piece. All right, man, I'll check it out. I'll do my best to check it out, bro. But you got to just keep yourself pure. It's worthy with the right one. Indeed. Very true, Kia. Very true. Very true. So I know we all have made some mistakes, man. We all have matured in a way that we know we ain't finna be doing that again. Like, you can miss me with all that stuff, but it's... I remember this proverb. I think it was a Latin proverb. I think Les Brown, did he say that? Or was it John Maxwell? I can't remember which one. Or probably just an old ancient proverb, but it says that don't just learn from the mistakes that you made, but learn from others. And I tend to listen to people when they talk. I listen to people. I listen to married couples. Like I would ask the women, like, if I'm working with someone, I'm like, you married? They ask me if I'm married, like, no, but I'm like, what things can you tell someone that is not married but willing to be married? Like they would tell me their story and I'm just listening. Like you have to have a listening ear. And if you don't want to listen, you think you can just live life free, whatever, without guidance, you're gonna just be open into a door to destruction. So it's like you have to be willing, you have to listen. And there's nothing wrong listening to people. It's not like, all right, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Let's see. Why, number 8, I got 14 total, but number 8, it says, why is it hard for men to apologize? It's another ego thing. This sounds personal to me. This sounds very personal. Why is it hard for men to apologize? Because we think that we haven't done anything wrong. I can just say like that. We thought we haven't done anything wrong. You ever seen those movies where it's like the guy get caught cheating? He was like, I can explain. It ain't really nothing to explain. You know what I'm saying? It's like you you just fell into something. You got caught in the trap. You know that's really it. But it's pride. When you have a prideful, this doesn't just goes for men, but also women alike. We're not animals. Even though we were created on the same day as animals, we're not animals. Um, the animals can do whatever they can. Baboons can screw whatever. Birds, they can do whatever. But with us, it's different. It's hard for men to apologize because we think that we haven't done anything wrong. But I can speak on women's behalf too, because the same way I have known someone that, I won't say someone, but I've known other women that done something they feel that it was justified. Like, hey, if he cheated on me, I'm gonna definitely cheat on him. I'm gonna get him back. You know what I'm saying? I actually asked a woman once, like, what does that do? Like, what are you trying to achieve? And they can't give me an answer. So what's the point of even doing it in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of doing it in the first place? It's just the feeling of, you know what I'm saying, a get back to revenge, Like if you had a gun, you probably want to just, clip that person. But I'm not telling y'all to do it. I'm just saying, like, when revenge comes, it's like we want to do our best to just really mean to really show that person our heartbreak, to like, I'm gonna get you because of what you did. And yet, what Jesus said, let vengeance be mine. The Father said, let vengeance be mine. And sometimes we want to take that out of his hands and put it into ours. Son of the earth. Hold on, man. Hold on. I think if I can, hold on, because you asked me a question. I don't know if I can actually go down to this list. Top chats, man. Okay, how does a single guy cope with constant porn and sexual immorality? To be honest with you, I actually asked a guy this not too long, a while ago. He said fasting and praying. When you are, that you don't really think about those things or do such things when you are in church because the word is actually present. And when you fill yourself with so much of God's word, you don't really have time to just do lustful things. And to be honest with you, as men and women, we have our horny moments. Let me just say it like that. We're naturally, what I'm saying, we're naturally there. And that can be such a problem in our lives because we want to be pure, we want to be holy, but yet we also tend to live by the flesh. You remember what I think it was in First Corinthians. If you read First Corinthians chapter 7, it speaks that if you can't handle, if you can't handle. Matter of fact, I got the scriptures right here. Tripping, because I can't remember exactly what verse, but I'm gonna read it to you when it talks about marriage. Because First Corinthians chapter 7 is all about marriage. Like Paul was getting on them like this. But honestly, to tell you the truth, like fasting and praying, it's like it actually empowers you spiritually. Okay, I got it right here, but I'm gonna tell you something about that. Fasting and praying. People have their own fasting ways of doing this. Eating certain foods or not eating this, not eating that, whatever. To be honest with you, the fasting that I do is really no food, no water, like that Jesus fast. It's not about how long you can go. It's really just doing it with the Lord. It's not doing it for him, it's doing it with him. At one time when I was young, I was like, God, remove these urges from me. Remove them. And to be honest with you, he actually did. But I felt the emptiness inside. And I'm like, this is not the right way to do, because if I ever do want to get involved, like how I'm gonna really, do that. And I was like, restore it to me, but help me. Restore me my urges, but help me in a way that I can have self-control. And that's exactly what is needed, self-control. But fasting and praying is like you said, like what Kia says, building up your spirit, man. I remember one time when I was like, praying and speaking in tongues, whatever. I think I was in the midst of fasting. It was like it was like my body, it wasn't transformed, but it's like I was bigger than what I was. I can't tell you if it was a vision or out of body experience. I do not know. But my wrist was like 3 times its size. My height, I had to be maybe double my height. And it's like I was actually being big. I was buffed than any bodybuilder in the world. I was taller than any, like this house, whatever. So it was like I was really building up my spirit, man, where you are so, and when you're done with it, it's like you are empowered not to really think on the lustful things. It happens amongst more men than anything. And sometimes we can get back into the generation of where our parents, I mean, our father or whoever down the line was involved in immorality. But God, I can tell you this: God knows our heart, but He also is the judge. But again, you can actually ask for help, ask God for help. Praying and fasting can really, it really helps. It does. Some men have actually overcome this issue. All right, here it is right here. The body does provide us its own wife. Ah, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Now, regarding the question you asked in your letter, yes, it is good to abstain from sexual relations, but because there is so much sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife, and each woman should have her own husband. The point of it's better to marry than to burn. Okay? We have urges, but we also have to exercise self-control. Being horny, or I'm just not getting secular, but I'm just saying these words. But it's like having those urges is natural, but not doing things that you're not supposed to do is like it can really bring on regret and guilt, and then it's like we regret that we did. You know what I'm saying? But God is faithful to forgive us and cleanse us from all unrighteousness when we confess our sins. That's the issue with a lot of men. Even men of God can actually have these issues too. And that's why I tend to pray for a lot of men. You know what I'm saying? When this stuff comes upon them. You get what I'm saying? But exercising self-control. And like I said, I asked a guy once, he was a prophet, and I was like, these urges, these issues, pornography, whatever. And he was like fasting and praying. And it's like when you do those things, you know what I'm saying? You are so productive, and the ability of creation actually, the ability to, to be creative actually enhances, where you are so busy doing things where you ain't got time to think about the flesh. That's something that I really take to heart. So I really hope that helps. This is 47. We said 47 minutes. Woo! The issue. Now the issue in this day and age, where it is a rest on 20 penny, but it's not enough to indulge until financially. Okay, I gotta wait till that pops up again. I really would, I have to really start using this live thing so it can really help. I'll wait till it comes up. Hold on. If the questions that you did ask, if I didn't really answer them, I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna do my best to just go back on here and try to like scroll through and then see it. But it's like when y'all write something, it actually stays on for like maybe 5 seconds and it just goes away until somebody else writes. So I'm gonna just do my best on that. So if I see it again, I'm gonna do my best to just quickly answer it. I'm gonna get to this 9th question. I got 14 total, so this is number 9. Again, if I see it again, I'm gonna just try to reply to you the best way I know how. I'm not a god, so I don't know everything, but I just tell you the best thing that I do know by experiences and what I heard from other people that I put it into practice. I'm gonna be honest with you. We all have our struggles. We all do. Your struggle may not be cheating; it can be pornography. Your struggle is not really theft, but it can also be, gluttony or judging people. You know what I'm saying? These are struggles that we have, and sometimes what we cannot do is blame our parents. What we cannot do is either blame Adam and Eve. Remember, these are works of the enemy. These are all works of the enemy, and what the enemy does is, like I said, what Jesus said in John chapter 10, verse 10, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and it's the reason why he comes to do that. It's the reason why he comes to do that. I'm pretty sure you already know why, but these attacks is to really bring us down. So we are always at war, not with the flesh. We are at war with the principalities. So when you think that, you're struggling with yourself, honestly, you're not really struggling with yourself. You're struggling with things that you really can't see and is making its home within you. There's a lot that I can really talk to more about this. I have actually done a video about that. Matter of fact, I did. If you can go on my channel, there's this video that I made about 4 years ago, I think. It's called Sin in Hell. I actually spoke about this. And I got really like into a deep discussion when it comes, when it comes to struggling with sin. But if you can find it, I'm on there, and it's basically I have a short haircut, kind of a Tyler Perry haircut, but it's called Sin in Hell. If you can go on my channel and then go to videos, you will see it. It's about, I don't know how long it is, but if you watch that video, it really, really helps you. It does. And at that time, I remember me doing it. At that time, I had a message on my heart that I need to just pour forth. And I didn't even have no paper, because I normally write things out, but at that time I just went on there and I just went to go. Like I just went on it. So if you ever get a chance to just watch that, it'll really, really help you. It really would. But yeah, it's called Sin in Hell. So go to my channel, go to videos and scroll down, you'll see it. Sin in Hell. Tyler Perry. My guy said that he was like, Tim Duncan or something, because I had short hair, crew cut, like a default character in a video game. Let me explain themselves. It's hard for men to apologize. Okay, I said that. Why don't men explain themselves? Number 9. Why don't men explain themselves? Again, this is kind of broad. Sometimes men are not talkers. We're more doers. We are not hardwire or created like women are. Women are, more sensible, more nurturing, caring, very compassionate, sweet. We are more like, hunters. We're more like, we're on it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we always try to fix every problem that comes into our life or to our, our spouse's life. So the reason why men barely explain themselves, because we're not necessarily talkers unless we need to talk. That's it. Like, to be honest with you, that's it. Some guys explain themselves when they need to. Some guys don't. But again, it depends on who you are with. But it's good to just communicate. Communicate is not only key, but it is a fundamental tool that you need. Trust is also a key. Understanding is the biggest key. Like, understanding is the biggest key, because you may have an ex that wasn't really talkative, and the man you with can be such a just oh my God, just talking so much, talking more than you. Again, guys are different. Each guy are different in their own way, but it is to itself. So that's it. Number 10, are men really loyal, faithful to one woman? Of course, but this sounds very personal to me. Yes, there are faithful men out here. Where do you want to find them at? I do not know. You have to remember this. You got to go to church to find a faithful woman. That's stuff that we heard growing up. And then we went to church, found a woman, and realized, there's something else. Like, wait, this is the wrong place. Same woman you can find in church can also be the same woman that's in clubs. So it's not judging, but there's good people everywhere. You may think that they're far away from you. You realize they can be across the street, and they're waiting for someone just like you. So there is faithful men out here. There is loyal men. Men that put God first. Sometimes they deal with a lot of struggles in their life. And it's not just with sexual struggles. It can be mental issues. It can be a lot of problems that they can maybe have growing up that they actually need healing. When you go to church, you would never find a perfect person there. You will never find a perfect person there. What you will find is a hospital for the broken. Even though a person is fine on the outside, sometimes on the inside it's a war. So there's a lot of faithful individuals out here. It really is. Maybe this individual has not really found the right one. And even though you probably are searching for them, you know what I'm saying? Jesus said, if you seek, you shall find. You know what I'm saying? if he or she isn't faithful to Christ, they won't be faithful to you. To be honest with you, we all have actually not been faithful to Christ. We all have cheated before on God. We all have. Okay, hold on. The thing is financial stability and the most X factor for men these days. I actually spoke about that earlier. And matter of fact, all these things that y'all asking me is actually I did videos on. There is a video that I made. If you go to my videos, there's a video that was called physical blessing and financial blessing. If you take the little that you have, I'm gonna just get the gist of the message that I was presenting to the people in the video. If you get the little, if you save the little that you have, whatever money you get, and just put it up somewhere, like if you're making 500, 400 of every 2 weeks, you take 50 or 100 out of that, or even 20, and you just really be consistent at building it up and not even touching it. That's one thing. If you are, on a relational point of view, the person that you are with, whatever, or soon to be with, should have an understanding perspective that you may not make enough, but I'm going to help you. The person has to be willing. You have to be willing. So it can be, a lot of people say, sacrifices. Again, it's all about receiving that help. You know what I'm saying? Being humble to receive the help, and also being understanding. Men, we kind of have an ego issue, prideful issue. Person that's making a little bit too much, more than us, we can feel, unworthy, but whatever, but we cannot look at it like that. Okay, it's all about helping each other. So I hope that answers your question. Because I'm getting a few coming in, but a lot of things that, I'm telling you the truth, a lot of things that y'all really asking me, I actually did videos on. Like, to be honest with you, I produced, I think, maybe 300 videos. So if you just go to like I said, go to my channel, go to videos, and just look at the titles, it's a lot that I talked about that can really give you some clarity. But men really faithful to him? Yes, there are some faithful men. There also is some faithful women that are simply waiting. I'm gonna tell you this. I know someone asked me about the faithfulness to Christ. You can find faithful individuals who are Christians, but yet, they don't know how to actually treat somebody. We are all in a growing and learning process. You can find atheists that are more faithful than some Christians out here that actually are in marriages. I'm gonna just let that sink in. I know. I heard about it. I know. There are sinners that will do more than any Christian ever would, because sometimes they bring up excuses, and the atheists be like, "I'm gonna just do it because I love these people." Again, everybody has their own way of life. Everybody has their own walk. We as Christians, we just have a duty that is bigger than us. We have a duty that is way bigger than us. It's not about us, but it's bigger than us, if you get what I'm saying. When you were born in this world, you're going to leave something behind for the next individual to actually to pass that on. Like Elijah, when he left, he gave his mantle to Elisha. Now he had to carry on the anointing. So he was just here for a season, but that prophetic message that he carried, that mantle was bigger than him. So we're just here within a blink of an eye, in the eyes of God. We have something to do here. Looking at people's faults or our own is just going to hold us back. We can't really trust ourselves because we fall. What was it in Jeremiah? I think, was it Jeremiah that said that? That our heart is deceitfully wicked, who can trust it? I think it was Jeremiah. I think it was Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 9. I think it was Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 9. I'm not sure, but if you can just type those words up, you will see it like on Yahoo or Google. But we all have fallen short. We all have not just the glory of God, but sometimes the glory of men, the glory of mankind. We all have fallen short. No one is perfect in nobody. Just because we're close and connected to God doesn't mean that we are Him. We should be like Him, but isn't Him. You get what I'm saying? We're not glorified yet. And when we reach that level of completion, we'll understand that we are still servants of the Most High, even when we are living in the natural. We're just growing and learning, and we just do our best to teach one another. God is very patient with us. The demons are the demons that, of course, now, but demons are not on the level as we are. You get what I'm saying? We have power over them. God is done with them. They already know their eternal destination. God is patient with us, not with them. They're done for. So we are living in the days of grace, in the days of God's love. So that's why He's very patient with us, very patient with us. To tell you the truth, many of you that are watching or soon to be watching, God, you could have been taken out a long time ago. But there's a reason. There's a reason why you are still here. There's a reason why you are still here. Because He's not finished with you yet, and there's something that He has for you. So it's cool. Bible studies. See, we're dealing with the timing on here. To be honest with you, the Bible studies that I do have, I'm always doing the videos on here. Like, honestly, I'm always doing the videos on here. So Bible studies, I'm gonna look forward into doing. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no because I want to be a man of my word. But the videos that I do, it's all on here. To be honest, I'm gonna be real with you. There's a lot of Bible study videos on YouTube. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. But as I tell you and other people that have done in the past, and you're probably going to hear it soon enough with these videos that I already got scheduled, is to know the word for yourself. Always know the word for yourself. You can listen to me or anybody else, but honestly, if you don't know what the word for yourself, you can easily be deceived. I have heard pastors say things that was wrong. I heard them misquote scripture once. You know what I'm saying? Famous ones, but it's like, yeah, they maybe was, in the spirit and they maybe said things they shouldn't have said in a way that they can at least be corrected on a certain verse, whatever. Sometimes I do it, so what I have to do is go back and re-edit and things like that. So it makes it easier for me and convenient that I can just go on here, edit it out, and just, say it the right way. But knowing the word for yourself is easy. When I wasn't in Bible studies growing up, even though I went to church, I didn't take it seriously. But my Bible studies was actually in prison, well, in jail. You know what I'm saying? The first word that I ever heard in the scriptures was God loves you. And that wasn't even in the Bible. That was actually a yellow pamphlet. And right then and there, I just gave my heart to God. And I cried. I was on my hands and knees and I cried. On that cold jail cell, I cried. Because I realized that there was a God that actually loved me. He wasn't just a creator to just sit there on His magnificent throne that's the size of this entire galaxy and just looking at me like this and waiting for me to mess up. He wasn't like that. He had to get me in a place that was away from the world. I'm a God who dreams a lot. My most dreams was when I saw myself in the temple of heaven. I was dressed in Levitic precept in my hand. Yo, that's nice, man. Hey, I like that dream, yo. I like that dream. I like that. That's dope, bro. And you know, with those dreams, man, they really mean a lot, especially, of course, to you. And dreams like that really stays with you. I mean, oh, that's dope. Yes, dreams like that. Yeah, have you ever had a dream, like a prophetic heavenly dream? And it's like, once you wake up, it's like, man, I want to go back to sleep and finish it. I had a dream like that once, flying. Oh man, just like I was actually relaxing on clouds, seeing as a rainbow, and there was like gold around me, whatever. And King David, angels the size of mountains. Yo, it was like, and I'll wake up like, dang, I gotta go to work. I was getting mad. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that stuff. But yes, it's knowing the scriptures for yourself, man. And the Bible studies thing, I do them I don't want to say on my own time. I kind of do it like often, but I want to know, like I said, I want to know the scriptures for myself, and I don't just memorize it. Sometimes you hear me like quoting things on here, and I only have to read the Bible. I do, but it's like I just know it. It's not for showing out. It's just I just know these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And I do my best to apply it, and not just to only apply it, but to really preach it out so you can get it. That's why when you ever do watch my videos, you always see like these words and stuff coming up here, like messages from like Leviticus chapter 7 verse 11, you know what I'm saying? John 3:12, things like that, so you can actually see it for yourself. So knowing the scriptures for yourself is the best study that you can actually do, because you don't want to come across somebody that barely knows anything and they're preaching the wrong message because they're giving you the wrong interpretation of what they think scripture is saying. Okay, I'm going to be short with you. There was a guy that was reading Revelation chapter 12, and it was speaking about a woman with, I think, stars around her. And the first thing the person that was telling me was like, yo, it's about the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, it's not about the Statue of Liberty. So it's like, just prayed on that, just help him with the interpretation, whatever. So it's like, we can come up with these ideas and knowing that what it means, and it's really not. So it's like, God saying you ask him for the you know what I'm saying, ask God for wisdom, he's going to give it to you. The thing is, I am not a Jew. How can I be dressed as a Levite? I can't really explain to you that that's something that you have to be humble with. It's something you have to actually ask God. You know, matter of fact, hold on. It's actually in Revelation chapter 1. That's what I'm gonna do. Now you said parents are Nigerian, and you was dressed as a Levite. Now you ever notice about these lost tribes of Israel, how they're kind of scattered, and you maybe get this from Black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know much about it. Like they say they're from the tribe of Judah, I think. I don't know. Like you got the Levi tribe, the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Joseph, the tribe of Judah. You got the tribe of, oh man, so many freaking tribes they have. Jacob 12 sons. Maybe you probably is from one of those tribes. I'm not too, like I said, I'm not too sure. I'm not going to speculate on anything like that. I'm not going to guess. That's something I don't do. I don't really guess unless I kind of know for sure. Okay, if you, I'm going to just read it to you. We're going to be totally different in heaven. Definitely, we are. All right, you take care, kid. Yes, we are going to be definitely different. We won't, in heaven, we will not be looking like this. We'll be more glorified, bigger, stronger, beautiful, handsome, you know things. You asked about priests. I'm going to read Revelation chapter 1, verses, I'm going to read verse 5 and 6. All right? Boom, racing God. Yeah. I'm going to read Revelation chapter 1, verse 5 and 6. Where's verse 5? These, these verses, like, they be so tiny on here, man. All right. From Jesus Christ, he is faithful. He is the faithful witness to these things, the first to rise from the dead and the ruler of all the kings of the world. All glory to him who loves us and has freed us from our sins by shedding his blood for us. He has made us a kingdom of priests for God his Father. All glory and power belongs to him forever and ever. Saying bye to that Liberty comment. Oh, okay. I guess, so as I was talking to my guys, I was saying that, we basically are priests of God. So maybe what you want to do is just ask God more. Like, ask God why you're receiving these dreams. You know what I'm saying? I can't really give you the interpretation of it because I don't know. Be careful of actually seeking interpretation from other people. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they can give you the wrong thing. Like, if you keep seeing the number 11 or the number 7, you know what I'm saying? Some people say that the number 11 represents judgment. Some people say the number 11 represents balance because it's two things, you know what I'm saying? Balance is one. So it's like, ask God what it means, and he will definitely give you the answer. He will bring it up into your memory, and he will tell you exactly what it is, okay? Don't forget about that. And about the guy with the about the Statue of Liberty, actually, he was learning. This was maybe the 4th time him reading the scriptures. This was like over 10 years ago, so he really didn't know the word. He was just reading the scriptures. So, again, we're all in the process of learning. We are not complete yet. That's why we are still learning. Once you are complete, there's no need to learn because you'll be full. All right, number 12. Are there any I'm sorry, number 11. I'm talking about other things and y'all filling me up. Are there any romantic men? What? Personal questions I see. Of course, there is a lot of romantic men. Matter of fact, if you go to, well, I ain't gonna say go to, but Italy, Brazil, Spain, and France are the 4 known countries in the world that romance is very popular. That the majority of men are very romantic. This is number 11, 14 questions, so got 3 more. But there is a lot of romantic men. Men are more practical. We're very simple. If a woman gives us a gift, flowers, okay, things like that, because we know they're gonna die. But it's like things that's meaning to us, like a car or a system, you know what I'm saying, a DVD or whatever. And it's like things that we can use. We're grateful for it. Women are more sentimental. It's like, look at precision. So y'all want the best for life. And that's not in a prideful way. It's just that we want to give y'all the best. We want to make y'all smile. It's love. It's about love. Love in Hebrew is ahav. That means to give. So it's in every man to show love to his wife, to his woman. It's to give. Matter of fact, remember what Jesus said? He loved the churches. So it's like he loved the church. So yes, what if you know what those questions? Yes, but it's what's funny because like I'm asking y'all questions and then I'm going back talking about romantic men. But yeah, these are just questions that people has been asking me and stuff. So I'm just on here doing it. An hour and 10 minutes. Okay, let me see. I got enough battery because I don't want to like miss anything. Oh, I charged it up before I got on here and prayed too. But when a man takes his time, to learn about his woman in a way that he's studying her because he wants to know and give her the best. He wants to know about her and he wants to treat her well. This takes time and it also takes effort. Time, because time is very needed. Very needed. When you go into the Old Testament, I forgot the scriptures. I forgot where it was. But my cousin was actually preaching on this. When a newlywed, when they get involved, they stay with each other for an entire year. They don't go anywhere. They actually be with each other for an entire year. They don't work. They don't go to war. They're together for a year. You will barely find that out now. Like if couples get married, they probably got to go back to work the next week. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to have that time together. So when a man asks you questions, it's not to really get on your nerves. He's actually studying you. He's studying you on the inside. He wants to get to know you better. And there's a reason why he's asking, as long as it's not the stalkerish kind of thing. So be wise of that, but always be led by wisdom. Always be led by wisdom when it comes to that, especially if a guy is asking you questions, okay? But there is a lot of romantic men out here. I have a few friends that, you know what I'm saying, that did marvelous things to their wives, to their girlfriends. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And it's not really to receive anything back, okay? I was involved once and I did great things. And I'm going to tell you something, that what happens is that some people that get into an argument, they was like, well, the stuff that I got you, you know what I'm saying, I want it back. I paid for this for you. That right there is just out of the proportion. Like that's a no-no. You know what I'm saying? So even though the relationship may end it in a bad way, treasure those moments that you do have. You know what I'm saying? Exes, even though it's an EX, means an example of what you had, an example of who you was with, an example of who you were. You have to, Rob. Hey, how you doing? I agree. Time. Yeah, time is very important. Time is very important. Um, it's a must, man. Time and willingness is something of a great achievement in a perfect. I don't want to say perfect, but in a beautiful relationship. Two imperfect individuals, when they come together, it is so marvelous. Um, Abraham and Sarah. Everywhere that Abraham went, Sarah was right there. So they had time with each other and they were willing. You get what I'm saying? Sarah wanted that blessing, that promise from God so much that she actually said, you know what, go into my Egyptian servant Hagar, have a child with her, and when that child comes in, I'm going to take it as. So it's like, of course that was kind of wrong, but then again, that was Sarah and Abraham. That was their way of thinking that we're ever doing. So that's their mentality that I cannot judge. But when we look at that we look at it in the way that Sarah was actually so motivated on getting that promise from God that she would do anything to get that child. So time and willingness is another thing. So again, it's a lot of romantic men. Again, some single women have went to these 4 places to actually get men or, to get away. Italy, Brazil, Spain, and France. That's just how, that's the customs over there, the traditions that these men have to really spoil their wives, you know what I'm saying? Give them the best of the world. Sometimes it can be too clingy. Again, men has their own level of doing things, their own decree, you know what I'm saying? So you have to really accept that and be understanding. Be understanding, all right? Number 12. I got 14 if y'all listen, I got 14. Do women have to ask men to do stuff, or could they just do it on their own? Do women have to ask men to do stuff, or could they just do it on their own? That sounds personal to me. That sounds like this person probably has done too much of something and probably not get anything back. They probably felt used, probably felt like, manipulated. But we're still learning. We're human beings, so there's nothing wrong with these questions. There's not. But the other ones I have was quite funny. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, that's quite funny. But for real, do women have to ask men to do stuff, or could they just do it on their own? Um, men loves to feel needy. It's like we want to be open in a way that we don't want y'all to go to anybody else. If you if a woman has a friend that can do anything, but yet she also has a boyfriend, that man's gonna feel a little bit in competition, okay? And he wants to exterminate any sort of competition because he does not want a challenge. Now, different with lazy men is that the lazy men are simply dependent on this woman, and this individual is not doing anything. As I talked about it before, he has to be willing to work. He has to be willing to do something. And if he's always dependent on you for something, you know what I'm saying, you do this, you do this, you do this, and it's like you look at his life and he's not doing anything nor achieving anything else, then obviously he's just playing that laser role while you are actually being a mother and a girlfriend or a wife to him. And a lot of times, majority of women are playing that mother role. Me and my cousin James, we actually talked about this. If you go to my channel, and if you just go down, you would see something that it's like titles, like my visions, my dreams. It's something that says, "Let's talk about it." And when you go down there, when it says, "Let's talk about it," you just see me and him. He talks about fatherhood. We talked about manhood. And there's another one that says relationship one-on-one. That's something that we actually put together. And that's something that you probably want to watch when it comes to that. But don't be a fool. Women, you are very wise. Okay? You are smart. You are strong. But don't be a fool. Don't. Just don't be a fool. Okay? YouTube has a way of giving you a ministry, giving you a message that you can learn from women that have made mistakes in their life so that you don't have to repeat it. You can at least be smart to know that, okay, I'm not messing with this guy. I'm seeing these signs very early, and if I get involved, I'm going to definitely be manipulated by them. I'm going to be used by them. I'm going to be abused by them. So when you take care of yourself, God does his part and also take care of you and give you the things that you need. Also, of course, the things that you want, whatever, but don't be a fool, okay? Don't be a fool and say that, oh, he loves me. No, he's just giving you the things that you want, and sometimes that refers to sex. And that just simply leaves you like broken in the end because you're offering up something that you should have kept close. And I know that with younger women these days, and even when I was growing up, young women have done that. I'm talking about the teens or whatever, and they say, oh, I'm going to just give him some goods, whatever, you know what that means, because we love each other, and then they make the worst mistake in their life. I'm going to tell you something, Satan is going to, this is for young people who may be watching. You may be tempted to have sex with this guy. He's going to tempt you. You get what I'm saying? And when he tempts you, it's like now you're actually giving birth to a sin. You're going to give birth to a sin. And when you're going to have to deal with that, and then he's going to walk away. You know what I'm saying? He's going to tempt you, you know what I'm saying? You get you pregnant, whatever, and next you know, when you are pregnant, he's going to walk away. It's like he did his part in tempting you. He's not going to be there with you when you have to face the consequences. You get, it's obvious, you know what I'm saying? So just be wise on those things, all right? Just be very wise. Too much time on your phone. If you are scrolling through YouTube, watching all these videos, what are you really learning? Go to your history and just look at what you have been watching for the past week. Have you actually learned something from these people, or are you taking advantage of being entertained? The things that I'm actually doing, I'm gonna just show you right now. I'm not showing you this stuff just to front. I'm not showing you this stuff to make a name for myself. I'm not. But these things right here, so I'll show you kind of earlier, but these things right here are actually work. These are all videos. These are all like just all these I'm just producing all this stuff. Like, all this is things that I actually studied, researched, you know what I'm saying, prayed upon to give you this message. Sometimes a 5-10 minute video that you see on my channel, it really takes about sometimes 10 hours, 5 hours to do. It is a lot of work. I'm gonna be honest with you. Doing YouTube for me is a lot of work. I'm not doing it for my own good. I'm actually doing it for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for you. Because I don't want you to make the same mistake that I made. And also with others. So I'm sharing a lot of things with you. Even about trustworthy people, because if you notice that I'm not giving anybody names. Even when it comes to these questions, you know what I'm saying? That stuff is confidential. But don't be a fool. All right, love is of actions. It's not of feelings. Feelings can come and go. If you ever look at the science behind cheating, it's like the way that couples fell in love with each other. I'm not gonna say fall in love because you can't fall in love. You grow in love. Love is you grow. But when couples grow in love with each other, the feelings, it's like you feel high, you feel love, you feel comfortable. And then it's like when things don't go your way, it's like it just lowers. And then you want to meet somebody else that comes around and it's like, oh wow, they're loving, whatever. And you grow in this attachment, this emotional attachment. Now you get involved in cheating, whatever. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You can't, if you're with someone, you can't feel emotionally deprived. You can't feel thirsty. You can't feel hungry. You always have to be fed. All right, that's not already said enough. You gotta feed each other. That's what love isn't just not of words. Let me tell you something. Even a child will say, I love you, and they mean it. They don't even know how to spell love, but they love you because they'll be willing to take care of you. I have seen children, like in videos, whatever, and it's like the parents will be crying sad, and then it's like the child will come around, get a hug, we'll hug them. You know what I'm saying? Just the little things that child do. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's why mothers will call them a bundle of joy, because that's what they bring. Number 13. Is it possible to have female friends without sexual relations? Yes! For some people. Long distance relationship, you ain't got a choice. Can't just unscrew the dude's stuff and just send it through the mailbox. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But it is possible. But then again, when you are really liking somebody, again, urges will probably come. So, yeah, you can be friends. In the recent past of mine, I have had female friends, and we were cool with each other. We had the kind of relationship, even though they moved on, they had boyfriends and children, whatever. The relationship that I had with these females in the past, it was more of like a fun, godly relationship. It was more like an encouraging relationship. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't based on sex, because if it was, it would be a constant thing, and then it won't grow. As I told you earlier, and I even told other women, sometimes the best relationship to have is a great friendship. That's epic, because I'm going to tell you this, the person that you probably had sex with in the past is no longer there anymore. And if he is, he's just the person that's just give you the D. That's it. But if you actually have male friends who are just companionships, who are work buddies, and y'all always had that cool relationship, that's going to last forever. But once you bring in sex involvement, it's like you would just simply cut the relationship in half, and y'all just simply split. So, yeah, that's exactly. So but yeah, you can have guys can have, but again, guys, like I said, we have these strong urges. You know what I'm saying? Especially when this person's really feeling us, we digging them, we are really liking them each other. So it's like yeah, we can kind of get there, you know what I'm saying? We kind of get there, but it's all about what the friendship is based on. Is it based on fun? Is it based on games? Is it based on hanging out? Lacey! See, I had a couple of good guys friends, and too much. There's nothing sexual at all. Exactly. Whoops. Well, I almost turned this off. Okay, yeah. Exactly. It's like y'all become brothers and sisters. You get what I'm saying? Both on my end, like I said, they kind of moved on, and when they moved on, I kind of excluded myself from that, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna have to get personal with y'all. So when I was friends with these ladies in the past, they liked me in a way that they were willing to date me. And I just made it clear, like, I just want to be cool and just have fun, you know what I'm saying? So we went out to different places, did this, take pictures here, giving them ideas and stuff, praying and, talking about the scriptures and stuff like that. And when a guy did come around and like them, you know what I'm saying, I was still a friend to them, but in a little bit in a way of being distanced. And I knew that because they were talking to somebody. So what I did was I just kept that. I respectfully didn't cross that line and say, hey, let's still go out because they were still involved with somebody. I didn't want to do that. So I always just like kept myself excluded. Like they always text me, hey, how things going? I'm like, okay, cool. Like, how's your boyfriend and how things going? You know what I'm saying? Is he getting on your nerve? Because that's what we do. So I was doing those things respectfully. But then again, it's like I kind of like separated myself in a way that now there is like no more talking. There's no communication unless it's maybe through Facebook or if I ever see him, and just say, hey, what's up? That's it. So I never did want to cross a person's line, especially a man that's already getting involved with a woman, because I don't want to be some sort of competition where it's like, no, I'm gonna get her because she's my friend. It's being respectfully to back yourself away from that. Get what I'm saying? She looked at her circumstance. Yeah, like I'm gonna just let's just say this. Let's just say you are actually involved. You know what I'm saying with the guy. Y'all just y'all kind of made it official. Y'all really going out, being intimate with each other. I'm not talking about sexual, nothing like that, but just really knowing each other. It's like y'all, what we can say in the Christian community, courting. Oh man. Okay, what do you think about online dating? Is God okay with joining a dating site or seeking out a relationship? Not waiting on God. Waiting on God is key, yo. Like you just waiting on God is key. It is. Again, when I'm y'all is over here writing so much stuff. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get back to number 13. But okay, you talked about internet dating. Um, be led by the Spirit. Okay, be led by the Spirit. It's not about being comfortable. When I was involved in a relationship, my pastor at the time, a couple years ago, he said this. I'm gonna remember this. He said this to me: heaven over happiness. Heaven over happiness. You can be happy with something that leads you straight to hell. When it comes to internet dating, that's something that you really want to be careful by. And when I tell you by that, what I'm telling you is if you really want to know why I said that, just watch on my video. It's called My Story. It's me holding a card. Watch that. This maybe not pertaining to you, but it's still being careful with this internet dating thing, okay? Because you don't know what that person's doing on the other side. It's okay to really be friends with somebody, in person, or I'm sorry, be friends with someone on those dating sites. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, just be cool, communicating, talking, like how some of you guys are actually talking to me and stuff through here. It's really be very. Someone's calling. I can't really be interrupted, but because it's gonna cut this out. Be very careful. Again, you don't know what the individual is actually doing on the other side. You don't really know who that person is unless you already know them and it's like y'all have a long distance relationship. That's cool. But if it's like y'all just internet dating, you know what I'm saying, you haven't seen that person, you don't know the individual, and it's like y'all like him, he's giving you attention and things like that, but you don't know if you don't even know if this person has a wife. You don't know if he's sleeping around, is just using you as a backup just in case things fall in his life. So just be careful when it comes to that. All right. I have not really did any sort of. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to wait on God to send him in person. See, yeah, just be careful, Lacey. Just be careful. Yeah, just be careful. I did not do internet dating. Matter of fact, I did. I was young. Oh my God, I was like 14, 15, 16. And the women were actually here in Milwaukee. I'm going to say when we was teenagers. And I was young. Like, there was this thing called Blink or PAX, Black Planet, Mi Gente, all those sites. And it was like, we're dating now. I was young-minded, you know what I'm saying? But I was just being me. I didn't really take anything serious, you know what I'm saying? So it's like my heart wasn't really involved in it. I was still on games and movies and hanging out with my fellas. But just be careful when it comes to that dating stuff, you know. So, but we all have a God, and we worship the same God. We serve the same God. We love the same God. If this God spoke to the ancient prophets and to servants and to people, isn't he also doing that to this very day? And yet he's still willing to speak to us. We just have to just close our minds of just the negativity in the world and just listen to him. Because there's so many ears out here. I'm sorry, there's so many people out here and we're giving them attention. We're giving them our ears. You know what I'm saying? We're just giving them all of these. I was born with big ears when I was young. But we're giving them so many ears. There's so many speakers. There's so many prophets. There's so many preaching. It's like God is like the main one we should really be listening to. You can sit down and watch a sermon on YouTube for an hour, 45 minutes, and God can give you a word that will last for an eternity, that can stick in your heart. And it takes nothing but maybe 2 sentences, and it's like that just surpassed any sort of sermon that you ever watched. So it's good to listen to what God has to say. Sometimes he will use people online, he will use anything to speak to you. Sometimes you will know a lot about God outside of church. I remember TD Jakes said this a couple of years ago. He said that you can learn God on the bus stop. You can watch birds and just see how birds take care of their home. And when they grow up, you know what I'm saying, they leave the nest. And in the way that man should leave their nest, a woman should leave their nest. And then when they leave their nest, they leaving the things behind and actually joining into a new family. And that family is their primary goal. And then they take after what their mothers and fathers did by creating a nest for their family. You know what I'm saying? It's like so on and so on. So paying attention to what God has to say is key. Sometimes as human beings, we get so emotional, we get into our feelings where we think it's the right thing and it's really not. Feelings can change. It can actually change. So let's just be careful when it comes to it, okay? Number 14, this is the last one. Wait, is it possible? Okay, I talked about number 13. Number 14, am I dating? I'm gonna tell you this because I told someone like I don't really get too personal with my life unless I really need to, but I have not made a womanhood a video on here, and I'm sure that if I did, then that would probably be the one. So I haven't made it yet, so you already know, but yeah, so it's again, it's just waiting on God. You know, you get what I'm saying. But it's like taking the singleness that me or anybody, any individual have now, and using it for the best of our ability. Paul was single during his ministry. He didn't have to. He didn't have to go to anybody. He didn't have to, you know what I'm saying, like come home to his wife. Now Peter actually had a wife. A lot of people didn't know this, but Peter actually had a wife. I can't really say if she was actually along with him in the ministry and following Jesus. But then again, he had to tend to his wife, and if he probably had kids, but he also had to tend to Jesus. But yeah, Peter actually had a wife. A lot of people didn't know that. If you want to know more, just if you can, I can just find the text and send it to you. But Peter actually had a wife. Matter of fact, in the Gospels, Jesus healed Jesus healed Peter's mother-in-law. So yeah, he was actually married. But yeah, it's taking advantage of being single now and furthering and advancing your ministry is of great importance. Sometimes it's kind of hard if a person is involved, you know what I'm saying, because they have to tend to the spouse or the girlfriend, whatever, and then they have to do things with the Lord, and then it's like back and forth. But to be honest with you, when it comes to having a significant other, when the both of you are actually in ministry, and ministry does not mean that you have to be ministry does not mean you have to be a preacher or a prophet. It doesn't mean you have to be an evangelist or a deacon. Sometimes your ministry, it actually starts in your home. Your ministry can be singing. Hey Cindy, how you doing? Your ministry can actually be singing, you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised that ministry does not mean you have to be in the church doing, you know what I'm saying, in the pew, passing out pamphlets and things like that. That's a good thing, but ministry actually means it's your life. Your life is your ministry. Mothers have a ministry. Principals have a ministry. Doctors have a ministry. Directors, producers have a ministry. But when you see that there's people of God, like Christians, into schools, like Christian principals, Christian dentists, Christian actors, you get what I'm saying? That is their ministry. So don't get confused in saying that the ministry is about just going into church and doing this little assignment, and that's it. No, your entire life is a ministry. I'm a producer, director, screenwriting, poet. Oh man, I actually want to expand my gifts. You remember 29, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11? God has plans for you, plans to prosper you. So there is no limit in prospering. We only limit ourselves. And when we limit ourselves, we tend to limit God. Like, oh, God can only do this certain much. No, trust me. In heaven, there's more than what you can think of. It goes beyond your imagination. You get what I'm saying? But your ministry, you should not be limited by your ministry. T.D. Jakes is actually a producer. So it's like, come on now, like Megan Good, though she's an actress, she's actually an author. So don't limit yourself. When people say, "Oh, he's a man of God," he's a a pastor, he's a prophet, whatever. To tell you the truth, I never gave them those type of idea. I never gave those people individual. I never gave those people ideas in saying what I am or not. I let them think that. I never corrected them. So I'm more than what people think I am, even what I am. God has prospered me in a way that I'm using my gifts, and He makes time for me to use my gifts. Trust me, I was at work for 2, 3 hours writing these videos, pages after pages after pages. Your gift will make room for you. Okay? Your gift will make room for you. So just think about it like that. Your ministry is your life. Don't be limited in your understanding. Always be open and always be willing, okay? That is actually the questions. That's number 14. I'm actually done. So, what am I looking for? This is the same. What am I looking for? Specifically the type. Y'all is on my nerve. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm not gonna say what type. I'm not. But the reason why I say that is because sometimes people will transform themselves into a type. They will simply put on this sort of mask and will envelope themselves to be some sort of like object just for me to find them attractive. You have to be yourself, because although either way I'm going to see it, either way the mask is going to simply fall off. It's going to melt off. That's it. Yeah, thank you. So it's going to, yeah, that's it. So you know what, when I was in story time, when I was in high school, there's this lady. Oh, yeah, I can say lady, but I was in high school. I was about 16, 17, around there. She was about the same age. I'm gonna keep this kind of brief. Probably, I don't know. Knowing me, I probably took a whole hour, but she was getting bullied. And at that time, I was about like 6'2", 6'3", so I was skinny. I was very skinny. God promised you a husband, and I will wait patiently. He will provide. Please, yeah. And one thing when it comes to that, be watchful on counterfeits. Okay, be watchful of counterfeit men. Not saying that men are demonic. We don't say that, but like you can find. There's this lady on here that spoke about that, about a counterfeit. I actually added that to a video that I made. I did. It's a video that I made. It's called, I think it's called Singleness. It's me, black and white photo of me, and it says singleness and something else. And on that link, either on the description box or on that comment section, there's this lady that actually, well, okay, I'm gonna just be briefly about it. God promised her, like, hey, this her husband is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So she wound up getting involved with the guy, and it's like the things that she wanted in the man, that was actually him. Like, that was him. Simple as that. Like, that, she thought that he was the one. All this was just, it was like just matching up. Like, he can be the one. He's the one. God was silent. But then it came down to the point where it's like she didn't feel something was wrong. So she went back to God, was like, God, just, I think she fasted and prayed for a few days or something. And then God said, you know what I'm saying, thank you. That this is exactly what you're supposed to do. You need to be sure. So apparently that wasn't the right one. So it's like, be careful of stuff like that. So just because anybody can come into your life and think that he's the right one. And this happened to me. I'm not going to lie to you, this happened to me. I'm not going to say who or what time, but apparently it was a person's like season to be married. And then I came around just as a friend. And it's like nearly jumping the not nearly like nearly jumping the broom, but I wasn't involved. Jumping the broom to me was like not saying we're already married, the old settlement term, you jumping over a broom, but it's like kind of going head for heels, you know what I'm saying, getting close and things like that, whatever. But I guess it's just more on the friendship level. So whenever a guy does come around and you find him attractive, um, you may think that he's the right one, or could it be the right one? You know what I'm saying? Don't get too far into your emotions. Be sure to know what God says, because he's maybe not the right one, and he's probably just a counterfeit. Maybe the guy don't probably even know he's a counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? He just came into your life maybe just to be a friend, but still just to be very careful when it comes to that. Okay, so you don't make the mistake getting involved too quickly, and then you're screwing up God's blessings for your life. Okay. Um, so yeah, just be careful when it comes to that. Okay, be very careful when it comes to that. There was all these questions, man, that I did, and I really honestly I didn't expect. You're welcome. It's no problem. You're welcome. Um, these 14 questions was just amazing to me, and if you are watching, I want to say thank you. Yeah, I was really going to expect to be more, but that's perfectly fine. Some was funny. If you watched this earlier, there was a person that asked me. Sorry for interrupting your story. It's no problem. No, I'm loving this Q&A. Very interesting. No problem. Thank you. Thanks a lot. No, you didn't interrupt anything. What happened is I can't really scroll down and see what you guys are writing, and it whenever you write something, it actually like it shows maybe like five seconds of it, and it simply like disappears. So yeah, stuff like that. It's just getting so cold here. Like Milwaukee weather is so funny. Like Wisconsin period is just weird. Like it was 61 degrees today, right? Tomorrow I think it's gonna be like 30 something. So it's like Milwaukee weather can be so bipolar, like for real. Like I'm dead serious. So some people do get sick here because of that kind of stuff. So anyways, I think that's about it. I'm so happy I actually did this. I was actually nervous. Like seriously, I was very nervous being on here like this. Like because I didn't know like how to say. You know, my speech can be kind of off. I just pray to God to help me with that. But yeah, like I'm gonna just go back on here and I'm gonna just read to you guys the questions. Hold on, Q&A. I'm gonna read you the questions that people was asking me. Uh, Dang it. Okay, hold on. Oh, you can see me. Okay. The first question was, why do guys cheat so much? The second one was, do you go for looks or personality? The third one was, if the girl's shoe size is bigger than yours, do you say no? The fourth one was, do taller women make you feel less of a man? That's funny. The fifth one was, does a woman with a bigger income make men feel insecure? The sixth one was, why when men cheat and get forgiven, but when a woman does the same thing they did, why do men feel like, we get our whole world crushed? Number seven, is sex a big factor in a relationship? Number eight, why is it hard for men to apologize? Number nine, why men don't explain themselves? Total 14 questions. Number 10, are men really loyal, faithful to one husband? I'm sorry. Are men really loyal and faithful to one woman? Number 11, are there any romantic men? Number 12, do women have to ask men to do stuff or could they just do it on their own? Number 13, is it possible to have female friends without sexual relations? Number 14 is in my dating, what I'm looking for, that specific type. So yeah, that's really it. So yeah, I'm actually done. I'm really happy I did this. Uh, on here, I don't think if I can just put my email on here, because it's simply Fedrego2k@gmail.com. If you want to like ask me or anything personal, whatever, in a way that is not degrading, in a way that is not disrespectful, um, then I'll be happy to like answer you. I don't know when the next time I would do a Q&A. I will probably announce it. So yeah, I do have a lot of videos coming up. I actually scheduled them every Saturday because I didn't want to bombard you with so much stuff, and I didn't want to be the kind of person to just upload things and then make you just be addicted to, you know what I'm saying, YouTube, whatever, social media. So I want to give you that time where you can at least do what you need to do without having to use the phones, because phones can really be such a big interruption in our life, or such a distraction where we probably have books that we haven't even read yet. I just got a book, Epic of Gilgamesh, and I'm actually almost done with it. And if I wasn't, if I didn't read it, that means that obviously I was just on YouTube or other things like that. So what I'm trying to say is just make time with the Father. That's most important, and do what you need to do. Just don't be so distracted when it comes to social media. The news feed is always going to be there. Your social media account is always going to be there, as long as it's very secured. But then again, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're anything, it's like you're a writer, you know what I'm saying? You can write a book. If you have so much time on your hands, don't just be behind the phone so much that you don't get anything done in your life. Okay? God has given you some bags of gold. And you already know that story that I spoke on. There's this video that is called Vision of Treasure. And I actually spoke about bags of gold. I seen like this gold, like this, think of a gold tower, but it's gold coins, rubies, diamonds, emeralds, this whatever, and it's like just gold just stacked up. And I looked at that and it's like it was just so amazing. But there's a message behind that. So if again you just go to my videos, you will see a list on it. You can just go to my channel, you will see like a list, whatever. So just just don't be so distracted on social media, okay? Like you have a life, you need to live it. All right. I love you all. I was consumed with the election, but I had to give that over to God and say, whatever His will is, be done. Oh, that's another thing too about the election. I know a lot of people, a lot of prophecies saying that Donald Trump is actually going to be president again. And then we see that it is not, and we know that God don't lie. So, but the only thing I can say is this: God knows what He's doing. And we, of course, we should not put our faith in princes of this world, nor in man, but our faith should be in God and God alone. But we can pray for these individuals who are in office. Okay? Who knows? Things can change where Biden is actually out of office, and Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these things coming about, whatever. So with these prophecies and what people were saying, just listen to what God is saying. You know what I'm saying? Like really take heed on what He's saying. Like you gotta do that. Paying attention to what these people are saying online is, even to me, that's why when I tell you things, go into the scriptures. As I was telling you earlier, like if you ever watch my videos, you see like these words and verses on top, whatever. That means I'm actually telling you what God says. I just kind of like memorize it, whatever. But it is not my job to deceive you, neither do I want to be deceived. The Spirit will lead us into all truth. And that truth can also confirm to other people's lives when they know that they're hearing the same thing. So listen to what God is saying first. All right? Don't trust what people are saying. Don't, you know what I'm saying? You can take heed, you can listen, but don't put all your eggs in one basket, is what our parents or grandparents had told us before. So, all right, guys, take care of yourselves. I love you all. If you want my email, I don't know if I can write it on here. I don't know, but the last video that I did made is called YouTube Update and Live. In the description box is like my email address. So if you want to write me, whatever, that's fine. It's okay. If you want me to pray for you, whatever, that's all good. Like, I got you. And I'll try to make time for you, okay? So I'm going to let you guys go. I love you all. I want you to take care, okay? Take care, everybody. Is this X button? Oh, yeah, that's it. All right.